We're going to tell spooky stories because 'tis the season.
Yeah.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Yo,
the internet can come for me when about May hits. I say fuck summer, my dude. I get sunburnt. It's too hot. I don't like being sweaty. I put my makeup on so nice, it just slides right off. No.
It wasn't until this weekend that I realized like you don't really produce melanin, so I can understand why the summer is miserable for you.
If it's anything above 75, I have to go full body with the sunscreen.
I guess I have that to deal with. I have the Croatian body hair, so.
Oh, you poor thing. You're Croatian.
Have a fucking beard.
I would rather have a beard than skin that doesn't get brown.
In a world where discomfort is actively avoided, therapy is not accessible to many, we have found that talking it out has been a form of free therapy in itself. I'm Chloe.
And I'm Kelly. And we dive into topics like death, divorce, disordered eating, debt, and every taboo topic in between.
With that, who's ready to get taboo? Okay.
Hi, guys.
Hello. Welcome back to the pod.
I think this is my most excited I've ever been to record.
Who's ready to get spooky?
Spooky season's here.
Well, before we get to that, I have some Baka updates.
Okay, well, just happy October.
Happy October, everybody.
When this publishes, I'm going to be 30.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
Yeah, because it's almost your birthday.
I don't care about that. It's just crazy. A whole new decade.
No, that is crazy. That's nutty.
It's October. Kelly's turning 30. Baka apparently did some crazy shit. And this is live. I have no idea what the story is. And those are my favorites. This is so hot.
Yeah. So we had a day yesterday. Well, it started out. I just need to set the scene a little bit.
I feel like I should be concerned whenever you like go completely silent. Like if we're not talking throughout the day, I should just assume something happened with Baka.
That's probably a good assumption.
Yeah.
I think.
Like, fuck, dude. You were like completely crickets and I was like, hello?
Is she okay?
Is she okay? Okay, what happened?
So
Tell
yesterday.
me.
So, okay. We wake up in the morning. Kevin and I are getting ready for work. It's like 5:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. And he is like, yo, I think Baka tried to like cook some eggs in the middle of the night and forgot about them.
She's got the raccoon disease like
and
a girl.
I was like, oh no, she is the OG raccoon. Aww. That woman is in the fridge in 3 a.m. scraping like the bottom of the yogurt bins. Yeah. Like she just is a hungry gal in the middle of the night. Yeah. So I'm always like trying to give her like a bigger dinner so that she doesn't wake up hungry.
Yeah.
And but then she's like, no, this is too much. And I'm like, yeah.
Because that's the point.
Yeah.
It stuffs you.
Correct.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he brings the pot into the room where I'm getting ready. And it's like this little pot with a bunch of exploded black eggs. She tried to hard boil them and they just burst open and they were like black and it was just like the whole little thing was charred. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, I'm surprised I didn't set off the fire alarm. Aww. And he's like, yeah, I don't know, man. And so we're like, well, that's crazy. So we like go about our day. And then before that, then I get a text this is unrelated to Baka at least, but I get a text from my sister who lives next door. And she was like, hey, sorry, I don't know if you guys are like sleeping through this, but Whiskey's outside barking. I think he got stuck outside in the front yard. And it was like 6:45. We're on the way to work. And I'm like, oh sorry, we're gone. Yeah. She's like, yeah, Baka's sleeping right through it. And of course, and she lost her phones. Like the house phones. She has a bunch of like wireless house phones that she's lost all of them.
Oh my God. Where do you think they are?
Probably under her bed, under the couch.
Not buried in the backyard.
No. Maybe she dropped them on a walk. She brings them on walks sometimes.
Honey.
Yeah. She treats it like a cell phone. So anyway, get that text from Polly. Baka's sleeping through it. I don't know how they resolved it, but anyway.
We did.
Then I get a message a voicemail from Baka.
Oh,
yeah. And I was like laughing because it was one of my coworkers that I've told her a lot of Baka stories, like her showering process and like all the stuff. She thinks it's hilarious.
It is.
And she remembers all the details too. So I love it. I'll say something. She'll bring up like a really niche part of the story. And I'm like, I love you for this.
Yeah.
So I'm telling her, I'm like, I probably got kicked out, or this is probably her kicking me out again. How
many times has it been? 3, 4?
Probably 4.
Yeah. We should keep a running tally.
Threatened. We should
and have it like Polly edit on the screen, and every time you tell a story, it's like a bing, and it's another tally.
That
is happening.
We have to do it. So I'm like, well, I'll listen to the voicemail. Well, first I like read the transcription, and it says something about like Kevin, no pants. And I'm like, oh God. But I had told
that tracks.
Yeah, no, it really does track. I have a side story for that. But I told my coworker, I was like, the thing is, through all this, she has not turned on Kevin.
Yeah, I love that.
Somehow,
Cute.
Kevin is heaven on earth, according to her. She's turned on all of us, like me, my sister's partner, all of it.
Really?
Oh yeah. She's very suspicious of Michael, who is like the most.
Oh my God! Why is that amazing human?
Least has no ulterior.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Ulterior.
I was trying to say alternative, but that's not the right one.
Close enough.
Ulterior is the right. No ulterior motives.
Yeah, he's literally the person that the last time I saw Michael, he had just for no reason cooked Polly dinner and was serving it to her. And it was like a homemade little pizza. Yeah. He's the most gentle, just little soul.
Yeah.
But obviously he's suspicious. Yeah.
So practical.
Can't trust any of them.
We love Michael.
We do love Michael.
But Baka is suspicious of him because she thought he was stealing her cherries this summer. But she won't prune her tree, so it's not like making cherries. But she thought Michael was coming in the morning before she woke up and at night before she went to bed to steal her cherries.
That little thief. That is a deal breaker.
I know. We were just giving them so much shit for it.
It's like, I love the rule. Sorry to cut you off, but I love the rule so much at your house about how you can eat plums from her plum tree, but not the low ones because those are the only ones that she can reach.
Yes.
And when we had our pod meeting, Polly was legitimately stressed because you took one that was like a low hanging plum.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, those are Bacchus.
I'm like, I'm not doing this shit. Yeah. But also, like, if you pick them when she's not there, you're a thief. But if you don't pick them and they fall, then you're the problem and you're the reason we wasted all the fruit.
Yeah, you wasted it. How could you? Can't win.
Anyway, so we get to I finally listened to the voicemail after I just got done telling my coworker that, like, yeah, Kevin can do no wrong. Well, the whole voicemail, I should play it.
Chloe, this is Grandma Anna, and I would like to talk with you, absolutely, because Kevin Rodriguez, your boyfriend, told me last night who is he, and I found out no more spend any time in my home. You are free to find it where you will go, where you would like to live. Because you and he made it, not me. I believe it's not only he decided that you are very well informed and involved. And again, I will miss you, but I have to have made decision on time. Before then I am dead. Yes, that's just call me if you don't understand. But believe me, no anymore, anytime, especially your boyfriend, Kevin Rodriguez, no more step in my house. If you need to find it, somebody to take his things out, that'd be better. Thank you.
So I'm kicked out and I'm just cracking up, like listening to this voicemail.
Yeah.
At the nurse's station.
Sick. Top tier.
So that happens. Then I like sent the message to our group message with Polly, Michael, and Kevin. And I'm like, hey, by the way, like we're kicked out again. LOL.
Yeah.
This time it's because Kevin Rodriguez.
Yeah.
And so we're like talking about that. And then they go, I don't remember how it got brought up, but they were like, wait, have to ask though, did you guys actually sleep through the fire alarm last night? Now, Kevin and I are like, no fucking way, bro. The eggs that she burnt did set off the fire alarm.
Oh, shit.
And we slept through the fire alarm.
Okay, you know what? My Uncle John is a former fire chief, and I was actually meant to ask him, is it a safety issue that you sleep with earplugs?
I know.
The answer is yes.
I know. Apparently, yeah.
You know what's crazy? You slept through a fucking fire alarm, but during my birthday weekend that we just went to, you couldn't sleep through me, my sister, and Taylor laughing.
Also, Kevin was like, he texted me separately out of the group message. He's like, because all night he and I were like bickering.
I love that.
Because we were fighting over bed space. And he like, sometimes when he like can't sleep, he's just so restless and wiggly.
I'm the same
so
way.
So I'm like, why are you wiggling so much? He's like, I like how last night I moved 0.0000002 of an inch and you lose your fucking mind, but you sleep through a motherfucking fire alarm.
Yeah, all of this is just like a you problem, to be honest with you. Like, I'm concerned.
I know. But the other crazy part is Kevin does not sleep with earplugs.
Yo.
He slept through the fire alarm.
Ooh.
So what's crazy though is Polly and Michael did not sleep through our fire alarm.
And they don't live in the house.
They do not live in our house. They live in the house next door.
You are in your house,
yes.
But your fucking neighbors heard it,
Correct.
not you guys.
Correct.
Got it.
So not only
Sick.
did we wake them up like somewhere around like 2, 3 a.m. with a fire alarm, then we woke them up again at 6:30 with whiskey barking. Our neighbors probably all want to like file a noise complaint.
They're just gonna kill you.
So that was crazy. But it turns out the whole reason that she was kicking us out was because Kevin told her not to have the pozole, the soup that he made, unless she boils it first.
Okay.
So she took it as Kevin said, you can't have any of my soup.
Oh, God, Baka.
Yeah. So she says, we just have different styles. And Kevin's like, okay, here's the deal. Because when we make like a big pot, like it doesn't fit in the fridge. So we leave it out. But then if you bring it to a boil again, the internet's going to come for me, but you just bring it to a boil.
They are.
And then you can eat it. And there's no like food poisoning risk. Anyway,
for sure.
But we don't trust Baka and her little dirty fingers because she was eating the cottage cheese out of the container in the fridge with just her fingers. Kevin caught her.
Do you guys
was like,
all
never
share?
do that again. Now we can't eat cottage cheese.
Oh, like at all?
Well, I don't know. We're having a hard time.
Because it's kind of ruined.
Yeah.
I can't. What bothers me is the thought of her eating it and the sound she make. I don't want to.
Bruh.
I'm not an ASMR person, so that's too much for me.
It angers me. So all of that was because
he wanted
told
to
her
keep her safe.
Yeah, exactly. And then and she was like, well, when I make soup, I don't have to boil it. And he's like, yeah, because you can put it in the fridge because you make a small pot. I make a really big pot.
Right.
It doesn't fit in the fridge.
Right. And she just didn't.
Because as soon as he was like, it doesn't fit in the fridge, she was like, oh.
Right.
So you can live here still.
Oh, so she changed her mind that fast?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we're besties again because I gave her a bowl of soup too before I left to come over here. And
I love that it makes her so like, it really is the little things with her. It's the little things that get you kicked out.
Yes.
But also it's the little things that bring you back.
Yes. So it's just, yeah. So that was my day. But
love that for you.
I guess this kind of ties in to my story. My spooky story.
We're gonna tell spooky stories because 'tis the season.
Yeah.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
The seas. Yeah, no, it's
October.
so cozy. It's so good. I love it. I was kind of resistant. Summer didn't feel long enough for me. But I'm on board now.
Yo, the internet can come for me when about May hits. I say fuck summer, my dude.
Wait, what?
Yeah, dude.
That's crazy.
I get sunburnt. It's too hot. I don't like being sweaty. I put my makeup on so nice, it just slides right off. No. It's skin cancer, weather. Hate it. Not built for it. I'm a fall girl.
Yeah, it wasn't until this weekend that I realized like you don't really produce melanin. So I can understand why the summer is miserable for you.
It's miserable. Do you know how miserable it is? Like I am fine putting sunscreen on my face every day because it's in my moisturizer. Who cares? But let me tell you, if it's anything above 75, I have to go full body with the sunscreen. I'm sorry. It puts me out.
That's a tough existence. I'm sorry, dude.
It's like grooming your body hair.
Yeah.
It's like tedious. So
I guess I have that to deal with. I have the Croatian body hair. So.
Oh, you poor thing. You're Croatian.
I have a fucking beard.
I would rather have a beard than skin that doesn't get brown. You agree?
We can agree to disagree.
You would rather be this pale and not have a beard?
That's tough.
Look at.
I don't know. A beard is a lot of work, especially when you don't want it.
Look under there. Literally fucking. We're done with this. This is taking okay. So October's the best month of the year. This is when Kelly thrives.
No,
so
it is.
We are doing spooky things. We're going to tell spooky stories.
So we have a couple spooky house stories.
Yeah.
Mine is about Baka's house. Which,
oh my God.
Big shocker there.
Oh my God. She better start getting royalties when she's the reason we make money.
She'll just withhold it anyway.
Fair enough.
Threaten to take you out of the will.
Man, I hope I'm in the will. That'd be sick.
That'd be cute.
Anyway, I feel like you should go first.
Okay. All right. Well, so Bacchus house, since I was little, I've always hated going there. Mm-hmm. Always. I used to call my mom sobbing. Oh. Like, I'm like, please pick me up. I don't like it here.
And it
like,
had nothing to do with her?
Well, I don't know. That's debatable.
Yeah.
So a couple months ago, I met with a psychic who came highly recommended from some friends. And I had kind of asked like, okay, so this house, the energy is off. Is it my grandmother? Mm-hmm. Or is it the house? Because she also does house cleansings.
So cool.
And she was like, well, okay, let me kind of feel into things. So she's like, well, there's definitely someone attached to Bacca. And that was like a kind of like a past life situation.
Right.
That she cleared and stuff. So she definitely had some heaviness around that. But she's like, yeah, so the house is like not anchored to the ground. She's like, it's just floating like 3 feet off the ground. And it's just, for whatever reason, it won't anchor. And then she's like, when I come into the house, there's a metallic smell. And usually that's only from one thing. And my nurse brain.
Blood. Oh.
Yeah. Blood.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. My horror brain.
Yeah.
Blood.
Yeah. So I'm like,
oozing
oh,
from
great.
the walls.
Oh, great. And she's like, ooh, this is creepy. She just kept saying that. Oh, this is creepy.
You know,
and
that would make me horny. I'm not going to lie. A psychic being scared.
Yes. Because this woman, she was telling me, she's like, because she does house clearings all over, because she does a lot of her business through Zoom. She's local in Portland, but she meets with people over Zoom.
Maybe you should link her info when we
totally will. Shayla, oof, I love you. So she, was saying like, you know, she reads for people in like Louisiana and like whenever she reads in New Orleans, there's always shit in the house.
Obviously.
Always shit in the house.
That town is haunted as hell.
And she's like in every kind of, every city all around the country has their own like energy, but she's like, especially port towns are very active.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Portland.
Yeah.
Is by name a port town.
What?
Yeah. Crazy.
No way.
So, she was like, okay, I got to find the metallic. And so she's like, all right. So there used to be a man that lived on this property who had this oven underneath the house. She's like, it was a kind of a basement, but more of like an unfinished basement, like a crawl space, maybe. It feels like it's just dirt. And I'm like, that's tracking because that's exactly what's under the house is like a dirt crawl space. Yeah. Basically.
Ew.
Under my house and Bacca's house and Polly's house next door.
Nice.
Same thing. So I'm like, yep, this is tracking. She's like, okay, there's an oven here and it was used for cremation.
Yeah.
Under the house.
Cooking bods. So she said this guy that lived on the property was helping to get rid of the body burden. So it's like unclear if there was like some sort of like plague going on or like sickness going around or famine, something, but something was going on in the area at the time where there was like a high body burden. And so he was getting rid of like humans, cattle, just random animal, like poor cows.
I know. And she said the oven, I don't think is still there, but the energy is still circling. As if it is still there.
Have you ever been down there?
No.
Let's immediately go down.
My dad has though. I had should have asked him. I haven't even asked him about this.
You should go down.
Yeah, because my dad like has done all the work that's ever been done on these houses. My dad has done all of it.
Obviously.
So I'm like, he would maybe know. But anyway, but she's like, and then she goes, oh, this is creepy again. And I'm just like, dude, like this is your job and you're creeped out. This is crazy.
You're creeped out. I'm creeped out.
But she's like, I can hear him. He's like walking down the hall and I can hear the shovel scraping on the ground behind him.
Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. It's so scary.
And as soon as she said that, I was just like, yeah. And then she was like, it's like something out of a night terror. And as soon as she said that, I got chills all over my body because when I was a kid, in that house, because I used to go there all the time. She was like my primary, like babysitter kind of caregiver situation because my parents both worked full time. So like Polly and I had our own rooms there and everything. And I remember I had a dream when I was little that there was like a man in a dark figure, basically following me down that hallway and I couldn't get like the hallway wasn't ending and I was like in slow motion and like screaming and I couldn't like make any noise.
Yeah.
Just like totally creepy.
Yeah.
So as soon as she said it's like something straight out of a night terror, I'm like, yeah, mine. Yeah. Mine night terror.
This brain right here.
One. So
gorge.
Yeah. So she's like, basically she was able to clear him out.
Amazing.
But she said that the thing is like, because his job was to look for death, he inspires that feeling in people in the house. It like makes people feel depressed and like they want to die.
Can you relate to that, Chloe?
I don't know. I just like became massively depressed when I moved in, but I thought that was for other reasons.
Yeah, no, obviously it's this ghost with the shovel.
Clearly. So yeah, she cleared him and then was able to anchor the house back down with gold energy cord, and like anchor the house to the ground. Okay. Energetically speaking.
Sick.
And I will say there's been a bit of a shift.
I was just going to ask that. Do you feel a difference?
She also just like the imagery that she used around Baka, she said that she has like a death grip on me. And she was releasing her grip from my wrists.
Oh my God, that's deep.
So, yeah, Baka has control issues.
Weird.
So anyway, that's my ghost story.
I love that for you.
It's a little creepy.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I don't have a strong, like, intuitive abilities with that specifically. Like, I have friends who can walk into a house and are like, the energy is off here.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily feel into things that way as much. I am more of like a, I can't remember which one of the clairs it is, but it's like clear knowing. I think it's claircognizant. So I get kind of more like downloads, but when it comes to like actually feeling spirits and stuff like that, I don't feel like I have as heightened intuition around it.
Do you think that they have like different intentions, like different ghosts, or do you think they're all like what's the word I'm looking for? Malevolent? I can't.
Malevolent?
Yeah, thank you. That's what I was trying to think. Yeah, thank you.
Malevolent.
I can't. I'm just going to get me out of this hole I'm in. Just start talking. Get me out of this.
I think there are both. Like there's a full range. Okay. And I also believe that like when people cross over, like people that we know, they're in their like highest self when they cross over. So like the things that affected them here in a human body don't have the same like grips on them when they cross over. So it's like they're still their soul, but they're not like as concerned with the petty stuff. So like they'll cross over and be like, no, you were totally right. I'm sorry for like, you know, this kind of thing. I'm actually really obsessed with listening to like medium stories or whatever. But yeah, I do think that there's like some icky ones for sure. Because I've also heard like very real accounts of like, I don't know, dark energy that gets attached
for sure
to things and people. Do you
believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
I think it is a little bit, I think it's something I haven't put enough thought into because it toes that line between like, I believe in ghosts, but then I don't believe in other things, but like, it kind of, do you know what I'm getting? Like,
yes.
Yeah. So I don't, I feel like a hypocrite saying that, but like, honestly, yes, I just have had weird experiences in my life. I've had weird things happen. I just feel comforted by the idea of there being a ghost.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Like, have you had ghost experiences, ghost encounter type of things?
Yeah. Let's just get right into it. I'm going to tell the story of my haunted house.
Okay.
Not mine. Let's relax. I'll never own a home. Just kidding. But, so I grew up with a single mom, and my mom got this really awesome job opportunity to move to this little tiny ghost town called
That's so cool.
And when I tell you the pictures of, if you looked it up, it was the most picturesque little town. And this is how I know this town was haunted, because when we moved there, I was 4. And I know that like a lot of people remember 4. But the only thing I remember about 4 is this fucking house.
Oof.
Nothing else.
So question, when you say ghost town, it's not like an abandoned town.
No.
Like a haunted town.
Haunted.
Okay, cool.
It used to be a mining town.
Ooh.
And so there's like mines that you can go and explore. And like
a lot of people probably died in those.
For sure. Yeah. There's just a lot of death.
Okay.
But the most beautiful, like Montana's the most ridiculously beautiful state.
I have never been.
Dude, and that's the thing that's crazy is like my mom tries to do the thing sometimes where she'll be like, you just remember from pictures. No, I remember the feeling. I remember the air. I remember the smells. I remember everything about Montana.
I totally validate you because I have very vivid memories from being a kid. We talked about this, but I have memories of having my diaper changed.
That's bonkers.
Yeah.
What?
I know. And I remember having a diaper rash, and I mean, from what I understand, like potty trained pretty early. So those memories had to have been around too. But I remember my third birthday.
That's crazy. I definitely, I feel like
very vividly.
Yeah. I think that I've heard of people having memories from when they're 3. And like, you know, I do think that a lot of people like pick up on, like, you hear stories enough or you see pictures and it begins to feel like a memory. Yeah. But like, I'm telling you, I can like close my eyes and smell this place. Yes. I can smell it. Yes. There's something about the air there that it like stings a little bit because it's so clean. Yeah. And just
we should take a field trip.
Holy fuck, you would lose your mind.
Okay, so it's spooky town.
Oh yeah, spooky town. So spooky.
Spooky house.
Spooky house. House is tattooed on my body.
That's the house you have tattooed?
I have a house on my arm. That's the Montana house.
I didn't know that was the Montana house.
That is for sure the Montana house.
Actually, no, now that you say that, I definitely knew that. When you got it, you told me that. Yeah. But it's been years. You've had that for a long time.
I think out of all my tattoos, this one and then the rear window one, which is a spooky movie, they're the 2 I get the compliment.
That's what the figure looked like in my dream.
Ew, dude. This is a killer.
Yeah, that's what he looked like in my dream.
Oh my God, this movie is so good.
That's what it looks like.
I can't even talk about this movie.
I just connected that.
It's an Alfred Hitchcock movie called
Rear
Window.
If you're watching the video, if you're watching our podcast, the tattoo on her shoulder, that's what like the dark figure that was chasing down the hall looked like.
Terrifying. Just eyes.
Anyways,
scraping his little shovel. Lived in this house. It's a big brick, beautiful house. I think if I remember right, my mom told me she rented it for, this was in 1998. She rented it for $500. And it was enormous, just this big house. So this house is actually published in a book called Big Sky Ghosts, and it's haunted like house stories from Montana. Oh, we don't fuck around up in this shit. This is why I'm a spooky girl. I swear, like a spirit entered me and just like never left. And it's what made me creepy. That would make me horny. I hope to God that's true.
Yeah, you'll find out when you meet with Shayla.
Oh, I can't wait. Anyway, so we move into this house and I honestly don't even know if my mom knew it was haunted or not, or where she started hearing the stories from. But her partner at the time, who eventually became my stepdad, his name is Chris. He moved in with us, and we just weird things.
Okay.
Right. Weird things.
Like?
So first we find out that there were these stairs. I don't know if this is problematic, but they're called servant stairs. And they were they're off our kitchen. And they're basically like the house was so old, there were like servant quarters upstairs. And then she got her own set of stairs so that basically she could just like stay in the kitchen all the time.
Yeah. And not be seen.
Yeah. And she fell down those stairs and broke her neck and died in the house. And
fell or was pushed?
Oh God, you're making it. See, I wish it was pushed because that would be more sinister. I think she just fell. The stairs, I remember them. What's creepy is that I fell down them as well.
Fell or was pushed?
Nope. Nope. They were like this. And if someone's just listening, vertical correct.
Down,
straight up and down was what the sound was. The difference is when the woman fell down the stairs, she broke her neck. When I fell down the stairs, my Go-Gurt in hand splattered all over the wall as I took a tumble. Strawberry
that
too.
Would paralyze me.
Yo, and I remember being like, because they were so steep and they were so narrow. It's like someone built them with the purpose of them falling down and breaking their necks.
Yeah.
So then other weird things, oh God, people are going to think I'm so weird. There was this like closet underneath our steps. right? We had this huge staircase.
Okay.
And I played in the closet.
Okay.
Like Harry Potter. And it's one of the smells I remember the most. It just smelled like old stale house.
Oh.
The oldest, almost like a library.
But
but
it's like
not,
all the old Portland houses kind of have that.
but
older.
Yes, but
Ancient.
amplified.
Okay.
Like ancient, like a mummy could have been in the wall. Like it smelled crusty up in there.
Like what's that? The Conjuring,
Mm-hmm.
where everybody's in the walls.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it smelled like.
It just smelled. Yeah, I can't. And that's the smell that I smell all the time. And I would get locked in there. No one did it to me. I would just, there were times that like I would like shut the door, but there was no reason for it to be stuck and I would get locked. I remember twice specifically, super traumatizing. I would like be like, mommy, but yeah, like I would get locked in there randomly.
What?
Yeah. And then there were times that like Chris, he would like fall asleep on the couch.
Yeah.
And listen, like I believe him. Okay.
Yes.
I think this is real because I fucking believe in ghosts,
Yes.
but he would fall asleep on the couch and feel this unbearable heaviness on his chest, like someone was laying on top of him.
That's exactly the type of shit I hear in like those kind of ghost stories.
Yep. Well, I hit my mic. Sorry, Polly. But
okay.
he like, I remember him describing to me one time when I was a kid, like, yeah, no, I laid down and I like was awake. And again, like, you know, someone could say it's sleep paralysis and I say, fuck you, this is my scary story. But like he would feel awake, but he would feel like a woman or like something. He assumed it was the woman that died laying on his chest.
And I think when your mind kind of is like, says, I feel a woman on me or like feel a man's, like it's because you're like tuning into that energy.
Yes.
So it's that is your intuitive intuition, you know, whatever coming through. It's not just like, oh, well, it could be any. No, it's like, you know what it is.
Yeah.
You feel it.
I mean, and for him to say that, like, and I mean, again, like, I think it's hard because my mom is a skeptic. She doesn't believe in ghosts. So she was very much like, and like no fault to her. It's just, she doesn't believe in that stuff. So it was kind of like poo-pooed. In our basement, I only went in our basement, I think once because it was so scary. I don't know if you've experienced this with basements, but like, I remember like the one time I went because our laundry was down there. But you would go down the stairs and somehow like the audio of the room, like it would just get more quiet. It was like any sound that existed, like even a creak in the wall or like something, just like sounds that houses make.
Muffled.
There was nothing.
Ooh.
It's what I picture space sounding like.
Oh,
nothing. Like it was a vacuum.
Weird.
I know. And then there was like a big, hole covered up.
Okay, you've told me this part,
in the wall.
But this is okay. Yes, share. This
also,
part is creepy.
Just at the time, there was also, just to add to the creepiness, a serial child molester who was running around in our tiny neighborhood. So that just like amplified it. Like I couldn't really leave. Yeah,
while you were alive.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Like I couldn't go anywhere except our back deck, like because there was like some horrible person, right? Yeah. Terrifying, just to add to the scary of it all. I know. But there was apparently that was called, I don't remember what my mom called it, like a servant's tunnel or something. And basically all the houses in the neighborhood used to be connected. And it was the only way the servants, like they all worked for these families and they would go like it was like an underground tunnel essentially.
God forbid the servants be seen.
Can't be. God forbid they get fresh air. Yeah. Absolutely absurd.
Or you make eye contact with them in the daylight.
Yep. Well, and what's scary is like, I don't know. I just always like, I got older and wondered like, God, what if there was someone like really scary that lived in like the neighboring houses and then those tunnels weren't sealed and they could just...
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They could slowly chip away.
Yeah. It was sealed off. So we're good. I feel like the scariest thing was, I believe it was a move-in. My mom was putting stuff up in the attic, which was next, like near my room. Like there was a long hallway and there was like my room, which was the coolest room in the house naturally. And then like my mom's room that was so scary. And, there was like this little, little door and it led up to the attic and my mom was putting stuff up there and she was like, what's this? And carved into the brick, it said, I hate my daddy. My daddy hates me. And like, we're getting vibes. We're making assumptions. I'm making assumptions that it was a little girl who was locked up in there. But it could have been anything, naturally. But there's just, my mom owns the book. I wish I would have brought it for the podcast. I don't know where it is though. But yeah, it's
we
just
should
like
dive into that.
All of these, it just was a house that had like an entity to it. It was a gorgeous home. It had a library. It had stained glass windows, but it just held a lot of stories.
Yeah.
And you could feel it.
Yeah.
All the time. So yeah. And, you know, I think it's just funny because it's like, I moved into my house, into that house. It's my earliest memories for sure. That year was the year I was introduced to horror movies.
Oh.
Unintentionally.
Oh.
Yeah. I discovered that when my parents thought I was asleep and I was not, I could just down the stairs and watch from our stairs, whatever my family was watching. So the first horror movie I ever watched was Scream. Scared the fuck out of me. Have a tattoo of it now and I love it now. But at the time, I used to call them uh-oh faces. But I used to, like, during Halloween, like, that was the one costume that I'd be like, no, like that's the only time I remember
something deep in you.
And I don't get scared by that stuff. But
you know what's funny? I'm just going to tie this to astrology.
No, do it.
Because you have this like terrifying moment of like ghosty things when you were a kid, like horror, which you know, a Scorpio stellium. It's kind of is on brand with that. It comes with the territory. When I was a kid, there was like a long season where my sister and I slept with our parents. So I was at my dad's and the TV got left on and I woke up in the middle of the night and there was like a alien abduction story.
Ooh, those also scare me. Yeah.
And
I love that.
Like freaked me the fuck out.
Yeah.
And so obviously Aquarius, the aliens, of course.
It's just our things.
That's just so
it's our
funny.
things they get. And like, of all the things, right? Like, it takes a lot now, like, as a horror movie girly, exclusively, like, it takes a lot for me to get scared.
Yeah.
And it's like almost shameful that I'm like, the one thing that scared me as a child was fucking Scream.
But you were just a baby.
Just a baby. And then like Blair Witch Project came out.
I remember when Blair Witch Project came out because we watched that together. And I remember.
I also have a Blair Witch tattoo.
But do you remember your house on Pasadena? And we, like, I think your mom was out of town for whatever reason. So we were just having like a weekend. Like, I came over and had a sleepover. So it was just like you, me, and your stepdad, Chris.
Yeah.
And he had gotten permission to let us watch Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
And we were freaking stoked. And he was like, if you guys want to, and you're like, no, we're going to. And we're like, so excited. We can't wait. I think we're like 11. Like, we're just like, we just thought it was so cool that we were going to watch
You're going to watch the movie.
The scariest movie.
Yeah.
You made him turn it off at the end.
Oh, yeah.
You were like, no, you have to turn it off. And I'm like, Kelly, let's just, and you're like, no. And he's like, okay, no, we have to turn it off. Like, Kelly's uncomfortable. Like, we're going to turn it off. He was like being so respectful. And then the next morning we're like, okay, we can finish it. We literally had 1 minute left.
Oh my God, are you serious?
You freaked out.
What's funny is that wasn't my first time watching it. I've watched that movie my whole life. So I don't know why I would have gotten so scared. Maybe it was because, you know what? You know what I remember about being scared in that moment? Because I remember this clear as day. And I do get scared when this happens a little bit. I don't like when behind me is fucking exposed when I'm watching scary movies. Oh, I feel very, a little vulnerable.
Yeah. No, I get
and
that.
And do you remember, like, we had that
couch.
back door, like there was the couch, but then there's that back door and it was like glass. And I guarantee you that I felt terrified. And also, for the record, that movie scared, and I can nerd out about Blair Witch Project. And when we talk about horror movies, like I have so many opinions about that beautiful movie, but that movie scared my parents, who were 27 when it came out. We lived in Montana. So like, we're already scared. We're living in a fucking haunted house that weird shit's happening. Yeah. It's full of spiders that crawl. So like, they're so big, you can hear them walk on the carpet. Like, everything's creepy about this place. Right. And also, like, I used to ride around a big wheel like the little kid in The Shining, and I hadn't seen that movie. Like, it just weird shit. Just creepy. But I'm just spooky. And but it scared them so bad that they came home from the movie theater, and I was in Oregon visiting my dad, but they they told the story a million times. They came home, they turned on the lights, they went upstairs to my mom's room and they put the dresser in front of the fucking door.
Oh yes, I've heard this story from them.
So like, I'm just saying, I do think there's some like psychosomatic shit there where it's like, I have heard that story and I grew up with two people that were so fucking scared of that movie and honestly the whole nation, but people forget that, that I will defend that movie till I die, that I was so terrified of it. And it had just this like bleak. Yeah, I remember that. And I remember being scared. And I think it's because I don't like when my back is exposed. I feel like someone's going to just like.
That's like primal. I get you. I get you.
Anyway.
Okay. I want to go through, I want to do like a rapid fire of like your favorites in different categories.
For sure. And
so
then
of all like just different types of horror movies.
Yeah. And let's also tell the party people that the plan is we're going to release like a little bonus episode and I'm going to nerd out on horror movies. If you're looking for stuff to watch during the spooky season and just to celebrate it, it's going to be like a quick little like mini-sode. And we're going to release this one and that one together. Yeah. A little treat. So fun. So but ask me and we'll just,
Okay. I want to know like to date, what is the movie that just freaks you out, whatever, like the one that still just has an effect over you? Or, you know, like at the time had the most effect on you when you first saw it?
I'm going to go Blair Witch.
Really?
I hate found footage films.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
But Blair Witch was the first one to ever do it.
Yeah.
And the marketing behind it is so like the thing is I don't want to nerd out, but people have made fun of that movie for multiple decades now. But there's just so many cool things about that movie where like the camera or the crew was literally just 3 random college kids, just like how the movie's set.
Yeah.
They had no idea. Like they hired people to be in the town where Blair Witch is set. And like everyone in the town knew what the movie was about. But the actors did not.
That's right.
They had no idea.
Forgot about this.
Yeah. And then like them going in the woods, like they literally put them out in the woods and were like, figure your shit out. It is almost as realistic as it can be, except for they were like, yeah, you're not going to die. Yeah. But so feels like much of it. Yeah. So much of it is genuine fear and terror. I think that movie, and I don't know if anything's scarier than getting lost in the woods, in my opinion.
No,
I think
absolutely terrifying.
And like any horror movie that's going to throw in like psychological, like your descent into insanity, I think is so hot. I think, and just for nostalgia purposes, I think the Blair Witch Project is
for sure
genius.
Okay. What's the one with like the best gore for people who like the gore? The guts, the bloods.
That's so hard. I feel like I want to say Evil Dead, the remake.
Okay.
I would describe that as campy horror. I feel like a lot of people would say the first Saw movie as well.
I don't understand what camp means.
Camp. It's over the top, dramatized. Like it's corny. But because it's supposed to be.
Okay.
So you're watching it just for the like extremes.
Got it.
And camp can be lots of different things, but it's dramatized.
Okay, because remember like the Met Gala theme a couple years ago was camp and I didn't get it.
No, it's just like it's just the dramatics of it all.
Okay.
So when you're talking like campy horror, it's like over the top acting, over the top blood, like just everything at like a 10 out of 10.
Word.
Evil Dead, it like originally is from the 70s and those ones are pretty good, but they did a remake in 2013 and it is so metal. Okay. And it's basically just this like evil entity that shows up as like a vine. It's friends in a cabin. It's actually friends hosting an intervention for this teenage girl. And like this like vine that's an evil entity goes up her vagina and then it rapes her and then it like she becomes evil.
Perfect.
And it's just bloody, but like good bloody where you're like, oh yeah, get it. So good. Love that movie. It's fun.
Okay. Best one, like that's kind of like vintage. Like I would say from like the 70s, 80s.
Well, 70s horror is my favorite.
Okay.
70s is by far the best decade of horror in my opinion. Okay. And I'll talk about this when we dive more into movies, like scary movies. I'm going to go Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think that is my number one.
Okay.
In general.
All right.
That I don't think anything's scarier than hillbillies. And then are you laughing because it's a part of me? Like, don't. I know. I think that's why it scares me, is because it could have been me. I could have been Leatherface. One chromosome off and I definitely would have been him. But yeah, I think that Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's been remade. I think that movie is gorgeous. And I think that movie is so bleak.
Yeah.
It's like the nothingness of it all that makes it, that movie's so good. I watch that movie with my sister Emma probably
I'm dead.
once every 3 months.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay. What's the best like ghost, like haunted spirit type of one in your opinion? Your favorite?
Let me look at my little, I made a whole thing, but I feel, okay. I feel like ghost, we're going ghost, not haunted house, right? Because there's a difference.
Oh,
there is. I don't know. I'm going to say ghost. I'm going to say the movie because my number one that I'm going to talk about later is actually separate. I'm going to recommend The Others. The Others is from when we were little kids. Yeah. Nicole Kidman is in it, who usually I'm like, I don't know. I'm not obsessed with her. I like her. I have no feelings about her, but, plot twist of my life.
Oh,
okay. And I will say nothing else. Okay, just if you like a good plot twist and you like a slow burn horror movie, holy shit, that movie's crazy.
Oh, I want to watch it now. You sold me. Okay. All right. So we've done Ghost. We've done, I wanted to ask like the best like psychological thriller. Yeah. This was, when I made my list, this was the toughest category. Yeah. Because there's so many. And again, I'm not going to dive into them because I'm going to talk about them again probably, but it's a toss up. Like I think the classic is The Shining. Okay. It's a beautiful movie and it fucks you up. Okay. And I think that like the idea of isolation leading you to madness is hot. There's also, I really want to talk, I can't wait to talk about this one in detail. The Descent. The Descent came out when we were kids. It's about a woman who has like dealt with a tragedy. Her whole family's killed really suddenly. Her and a group of girlfriends go cave diving. Oh, down yonder. Oh, shit gets weird. And it's as it would in a cave. Shit gets weird. And it's this incredible balance between like shit getting weird, or are they fucking crazy from claustrophobia and the lack of oxygen? I'm going to say all the above. All of the above. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's wild. That movie is incredible and people don't talk about it enough. And it's kind of gory. It's fun. Okay. So I'm just trying to think if there's any other like major categories that I want to touch on. Classic. Oh, let's go really fast. And then the other ones I can nerd out with later. Yeah. But I feel like we should do like slasher. Is that different than gore? I guess when I'm not trying to get nerdy. Yeah, I guess because like with gore, I think of like slasher movies aren't necessarily gory. It's just like, I think of like the classics and like I don't feel like people really make slasher movies that much anymore, but like just a killer movie. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Best, like top killer movie. If you had to like just gun to your head. Knife to your throat. I don't know which one I'd rather. I'm gonna go. Well, I already said Texas Chainsaw. I've got a machete right here. Okay. Scream it is, folks. Yeah, more than Halloween. I said what I said. Okay. I said what I said. She said what she said. Okay. If you want to hear more of this, listen to the minisode. Yeah. It's going to be so fun. We're going to go into detail about all the detail, wow, that was so silly and redundant. We're going to go into the details of all the favorites. Yeah. All the faves. All the faves. And so that you have good recs for the creepy season. And I think the goal of it is like not the basic, like, oh, how profound. You're recommending I watch Halloween for a scary movie. Like everyone and their fucking dog recommends that. Like I don't even know which one that is. With Michael Myers. Oh, that's what that is. I'm not going to do the song. Yeah. Okay. But I feel like all lists are kind of the same, and I watch horror movies year round. So maybe we can give people some new movies to watch. Yeah. Maybe I can give you some movies to watch with Kev. You could give me any movie and it would be one that I need to watch. This is what I live for. Okay. Okay. That's all I have to say. Well, thanks everyone for listening. Where can everyone find you? Everyone can find me on Instagram at Kelly, Kelliea Weld, and TikTok at Kelly Weld.
And those are the only 2 I really use.
Okay. Yeah.
The end.
Cute.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm on Instagram at Chloe Anna Mikkel, CHLOEANAMIKELE. And I'm on TikTok and all the other things at the same. And then you can find us and our pod and all the things at Let's Get Taboo on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube.
Everything.
All of it.
Watch us on YouTube. I feel like that one's the most fun.
Yeah. Watch us on YouTube. You can watch us on Spotify if you didn't know that.
I didn't know that until we started doing this. I had no idea.
It's so fun.
Yeah, it's genius.
Anyways, we'll see you in the mini-sode. And if not, we'll just see you next week.
See you next week.
Love you.
I'm so excited.
It's going to be so good.
I'm so excited.